Ooh. All right, beautiful. Okay, everyone. So welcome. My name is Justine. I'm a personal trainer and yoga teacher. I did my yoga teacher training at Laughing River Yoga, which is right on the Winooski River in Burlington. And sorry, I have a dog over there doing funny things. So today and for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be meeting in the afternoons for our yoga practice. Some of you may have already practiced with me. I take a very gentle approach, and that doesn't necessarily mean to say that that some of the poses won't be challenging, but I do try to offer a lot of modifications because I know that one of the things that kind of keeps people from yoga is this idea that we all sort of have to bend ourselves into a pretzel in order to do yoga, or it can be a little bit intimidating. So I do like to really take that right off the table and just kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Yoga doesn't need to be really serious, so we can have a few chuckles and just have kind of a lighthearted experience without the pressure of, doing a headstand or anything like that. So let's start in a seated position. I don't have yoga blocks. If you have them, that's great. I have a variety of pillows. So I do suggest when you take a seated position, which is how we're going to start, that you are up on a pillow or you are up on your yoga block. Okay, so go ahead and have a seat. You can cross your legs. You can kneel, whatever's most comfortable. If you have a wall such as this, you can even set yourself up so your back is supported by the wall. And once you find your seated position, go ahead and close your eyes. And for those of you, if you have just joined, make sure that you're muted and your camera's turned off. Good. So once we arrive in our seated position, and you close your eyes, just begin to notice your inner landscape. So what comes up right away? What's trying to get your attention? Maybe your foot hurts, that's something that could come up. Maybe you're feeling a little anxious. You have little butterflies in your tummy. Maybe you're noticing some tension between the eyebrows. You're feeling a little tense. Just noticing these things, turning the attention inward. And then we'll turn the attention to the breath. Just noticing first, where do you feel the inhales and exhales? Is it more in your belly or in your chest? Can you begin to notice the breath on the sides of your body or your back body? We'll begin to take the next 2 minutes, and I will time it. We'll take the next 2 minutes to sit in meditation. And what that is, okay, so before anybody has any initial reactions to what meditation means, it simply means that we're going to continually return our attention to the breath. So you're going to have thoughts and emotions and sensations pop up. And when you notice that your attention has strayed from the breath, you gently bring it back to the breath. And that will be our meditation for the next 2 minutes. There's no way for you to do this wrong, okay? So in 2 minutes, I will revive you from your meditation. As the mind wanders, just gently bring it back to the breath. Coming back to the breath. Drop your chin to your chest. Open your eyes. And then lift the gaze, lift the head. Beautiful meditation, everyone. That was great. Okay. From here, we'll come out of our seated position and into a tabletop position. Hands directly under shoulders and knees directly underneath the hips. We're going to tuck the toes under here if you're able to do so. And we're going to take a big inhalation, and as we exhale, sit the hips back to the heels. Keep the head and the gaze up. Good. And as you inhale, once again, coming back to table, untuck the toes and sit the hips back once again to the heels. You should get a little bit deeper on this one. Inhale back into table, tuck toes, sit the hips back, getting into the ankles, Achilles. Inhale to table, untuck toes, and sit back once again. One more time, inhale, tuck toes, sit back. Beautiful, inhaling back into table, untuck toes, and sit back as you exhale. Good, this time we'll come into full child's pose, extended child's pose. So we'll reach out with the palms, spread the knees as much as you need to comfortably get your head to your mat. Resting your forehead down, pressing a little bit through the palms so we're not completely passive here. Finding the breath in and out through the nose, noticing the expansion happening through the back of the body. Good, inhale back to tabletop. Good, now finding that perfect table, which just means that the wrists are under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. We've got pretty good 90-degree angles happening here. And on your next inhalation, we're going to reach out with the right arm and the left leg. So I know already people are like, right and left, that's hard to, sometimes coordinate. So if you start on the other side, that's fine. So we're gonna hold this bird dog position, and I want you to think about getting as long as you possibly can. So we've got the opposite arm and leg extending and reaching. Flexing through the ankle, so that's the opposite of pointing. And then really reach with the fingertips. So again, this long, long line. And then find the breath. Good, and then bring everything back to the table and switch sides. Extend leg, extend arm, and then create the longest line you can, right? Reaching equally in both opposite directions. Imagine that line like a rubber band. You're trying to stretch it a little bit longer. ahead and bring everything in. Yes, perfect, yes. All right, so let's get into the spine with a little bit of rotation here. On an inhale, the right arm is gonna reach up. So we're squeezing that shoulder blade in towards the spine. And as you exhale, thread the needle, reach through, keeping the left arm straight, reaching as far to that side as you can with the hand. And then inhale, back up, open through the chest. Exhale to thread the needle through. Continue following your own breath rhythm here, right? So the breath is gonna pace your movement. So if I might be going a little bit slow for your natural breath, or maybe I'm going a little too fast, right? So you just do you, right? This is your practice. I'm just gonna be here guiding you along. Think of me as like the bumpers at the bowling alley, right? And last one on this side, full inhale, and full exhale. And then coming back to neutral. Switching sides. Whenever your next inhalation is, that's when the left arm will reach up high. And exhale to reach through. See if you can elongate the inhales and exhales. And one more, full inhale, full exhale. Perfect. From our tabletop position, the right leg is going to go 90 degrees all the way out to the right side. My foot is planted, which just means that my full foot is down on the floor. If you can get your full foot down, do so. If not, doesn't really matter, so don't worry about it. Tuck the left toes under if you can, and inhale here. As your exhale comes, sit the hips back to the heels. Look up, straight arms. Good. Yep. Inhale back to lift the hips, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, sit back up, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, sit back and hold. Good. So you can stay up high, okay? Or if you'd like, you can reach out with the palms, coming to rest the forehead down on the floor. And can you relax the inner thigh on the right leg, right? So just kind of focus your attention there. Breathe into the inner thigh muscle, which can be very tight, right, for some of us. I know for me, definitely a tight area. So I'm just going to encourage that muscle to soften and relax. Just inhale to bring you back up. And then walk your hands towards your body. We're going to come into an upright position. So now our shoulders are stacked up over our hips, okay? Yes, exactly. On an inhale, we're going to lift up the right arm up over the head. And as you exhale, look for the ground beside you. We're going to come into a lateral bend. So we've got somewhat of a straight line, right? From the ankle, hip, shoulder, elbow, and fingertips. Doesn't have to be perfect. Good. Now tuck the tail slightly, draw the belly in a little bit, and continue to breathe. One more inhale in this position. As you exhale, we're going to rise back through center. Good. And then we're going to reverse the lateral bend. So the right arm is going to just gently drape over the leg, and now we're reaching over with the left arm, and you can gaze up if your neck allows it, gazing up past the elbow. And can you find the breath here? Where does it go, right? Every new posture is an opportunity for the breath to go somewhere different. So for me, I'm feeling it sort of over on my left low belly, feeling a little bit of a stretch there. You can feel the breath going there. So just noticing where it goes for you in your body. One more inhalation. Exhale, coming back through center. And the arms will come back down. We return to our tabletop position so we can do everything on the second side. Left leg extends 90 degrees. Tuck the back toes under. On an exhalation, the hips rock back to the heels. That gaze is up. arms are straight. Inhale, lift the upper body, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, sit back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, sit back and hold. Good. Option is to reach out a little farther with the arms. Keep the arms straight, rest your forehead down. See if you can kind of focusing on that inner thigh on the left side, just breathing into it, softening it as best you can. And inhale brings you back up into the table. Good, and then walk your hands towards your body, eventually coming all the way up. Yeah, exactly. So an inhale is gonna lift up the left arm. And an exhale, look for the ground, right below you, right? Yep, there it is. It's there, I promise. So you can I tent my fingertips, right? So I'm not coming all the way down to my palm. That's a little bit too far for me. So I'm tenting my fingertips, right? So I'm nice and light on the fingertips. I'm not putting the whole weight of my upper body there. And what that does too is it is going to engage the core, right? Getting a little bit of core work into this posture. Good. Oops, you know what? We're gonna reach over our head, right? Where's that long line, right? Just taking a few breaths here. Finding stability. One more inhale, and the exhale will bring you through center. An inhale to bring up the right arm, and the exhale will bring you into your counter bend. So now I'm going to turn my head up. I'm looking up past my right elbow, and my left arm is relaxed. Full and complete inhales and exhales. Good, it's an exhalation to bring you back through center. Beautiful. And coming back into your table, bringing left knee back under the hip. Perfect. And from here, we're going to come into our first downward facing dog. Tucking the toes under, lifting the hips. Good, and keep a deep bend through your knees. Yeah, so it's kind of a myth, and I don't really know where this comes from, but I know that I believed when I first started doing yoga that it was really important for me to have straight legs in the down dog. Like that was a really important part of the down dog. And it's not really that important actually, and you might find that your down dog is so much more enjoyable with a nice bend in the knees. So give that a try, and you can decide which feels better. So take a few really nice deep breaths here, in through the nose and then out through your mouth. And make a lot of noise on that exhale. Inhale here. Through the mouth, exhale. Yeah, just letting out all that stale air from the day, making room for the new fresh air. Awesome. So we're going to bring the right foot to the outside of the right pinkies. However you need to get to that position, do what you got to do. Drop your back knee there, and then top of the back foot is going to come down. Awesome. Planting the left hand, okay, so spread the fingers wide, pushing through that palm. It's an inhale to reach up through the right arm. Okay, so now we're in a bit of a twist here. Gazing up at the lifted hand. And allowing the pelvis to be heavy. There are many places where you may feel this stretch, and if it feels like a little too much, right, you can just back off. Just push through your foot a little bit and push the hips back towards the back of the mat slightly, and that's going to take a little bit of the edge out of that stretch. Good. One more inhale, and exhaling to bring that right hand back down to the inside of the right foot. Now we're going to take that right foot, we're going to scoot it over about 1 foot width over, okay? So just scoot it over a little bit. And the right hand is going to go right to the inside of that right foot. Rock your way onto the right hand, and then we're going to come into a counter twist, okay? So this is a little bit harder. The body doesn't really want to go this way. Feels a little less steady, but that's okay. Just play around with it. Really, really reach through that arm. It's gonna make you more stable. No wet noodle arms, okay? Good, one more inhalation. And it's an exhale to bring your arm down, tuck the back toes, downward facing dog. And again, however many steps it takes for you to get into that down dog, you just do it. Good. All right, let's try that second side. Left foot comes to the outside of the left knee, drop the back knee down, top of the foot comes down. Plant that right hand, press through the palm. It's an inhale to bring your left arm up into the twist. Heavy through the pelvis. Breathing into the hips. Can you continue to take deep and complete inhales and exhales? One more time with your inhalation, and the exhale will bring your left hand to plant down on the mat. Same thing, we're gonna scoot that left foot over, and then bring that left hand right to the inside of that foot. Now rock the weight into the left hand, and then bring the right arm up into the counter twist. And you might find that this side's even harder than the other side. So asymmetry is a very natural part of being in a human body, right? The world is not symmetrical, right? We're not ambidextrous, are we? I mean, some people are actually. I'm not. Good, one more inhalation in our reach and twist. And as you exhale, plant the hands downward facing dog. Woo, walking out the heels here, right? We call this walking the dog. Feels nice. I mean, I should only speak for myself. Feels good to me. Oh, very good. Okay, so bringing that right foot now between the thumbs. Again, you gotta scoot it. Bring the back knee down, top of the foot comes down. On an inhalation, the arms are gonna rise up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Good. Now sink the pelvis slightly down and forward. Yeah, okay. Biceps are coming towards to align with the ears. All right, yeah. And the gaze is slightly up. That's gonna encourage some extension through the spine. Now find the breath. Can you breathe deep into the low belly? One more inhalation, and as you exhale, watch what I'm gonna do here. The exhale is gonna bring you into a twist. Palms are gonna be facing me, maybe. They might actually be facing away from me. I shouldn't speak too soon. But basically, you're twisted in the direction of the leg that's forward. Now, can you continue to drive that right knee over the toes, right? As you twist, looking back over the right shoulder. Now squeeze through the legs for stability. Can you press through the top of the back foot a little bit? See what that feels like. Take a few breaths. It's an inhale to bring your arms back up over your head. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ooh, yeah, walk that dog out, little tightness in the left hip. That is totally normal if you're having a little bit of that heat, that tightness feeling. All right, left foot comes between the thumbs, drop the back knee down, top of the foot comes down. It's an inhalation to rise up, arms sweep up over the head, biceps next to ears. Allow the pelvis to sink down and forward. Now find the breath, relax the shoulders. In and out through the nose. Feel the belly rising and falling against the inside of the left thigh. One more inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Palms open out in front of you. Spread the fingers wide. Reach the fingertips away from the heart. Find the breath. It's an inhale for the arms to come up back over your head. Exhale, downward facing dog. If at any point in your practice things are too intense, please take whatever options feel best, and you can always, of course, just take a break, have a seat, have some water, right? And then just come back to the practice when you're ready. Good. On your next inhalation, walk your feet all the way to your hands, coming to the top of the mat, and then forward fold here. Deep bend through the knees, clasping onto opposite elbows, right? So the belly is on top of the thighs, right? So bend your knees however much you need to make that happen. Completely relax your head and your neck. The crown of your head is sinking towards the floor. And you can rock around here. This is a rag doll, right? So you can imagine what that looks like. Try to embody that energy of a rag doll, nice and relaxed. Loose. Releasing the elbows. On an inhalation, we'll come into a half lift. So if you're not sure what that is, you can look at me. An inhale is going to bring you to half lift, flatten the back, look up, right? So I'm kind of at a 90-degree angle here in my hips. Exhaling to forward fold. Inhale once again, half lift. Extend the spine, look up, gaze up, flatten the back. Exhale to fold. One more time, inhale, flat back, keep that bend in the knees. Exhale to fold. Good, this time through the flat back, rise up to stand. Arms sweep up over your head, look up, standing salute. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Good, feet are under the hips, soft knees, slight tug of the tail to lengthen through the low back. Chest is lifted, shoulders relaxed. Take a few breaths. And on your next inhalation, arms sweep up over the head. Exhale, forward fold through your flat back. Inhale to high plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, lower down, knees, belly, chest. Hug the elbows in, top of the feet down. Inhale to cobra, either baby cobra, right? Or you can come up to full cobra. It's an exhale to bring you to downward facing dog. And we'll hold our down dog for just a few breaths. Inhale, feet come to the hands, top of the mat. Exhale as you arrive, forward fold. Inhale, rise through flat back to stand, arms sweep up over the head. Exhale, Tadasana, arms by your sides. Inhale, arms lift over the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, top of a push-up, lowering down to your mat. Inhale to cobra, baby or full. Exhale, down dog, hold your down dog. On your next inhale, the right leg will lift up into the sky. You're in a three-legged dog. Try to level your hips by dropping your right hip towards your mat. And reach energetically through the back leg. Good. One more inhalation. And as you exhale, bring that right foot between the thumbs. Good. Now we're going to set ourselves up for warrior one. Looking back at the left foot, you're going to plant the left foot and the left big toe is going to be pointed at 11 o'clock. Okay, so the whole foot is planted and my toes are pointed approximately 11 o'clock. It's an inhalation to rise up, arms coming up over the head. Yes, warrior one, we have arrived. Our warrior poses evoke bravery, right? Confidence, a taking on the world, right? Fearlessness. Good. Now, clasp your hands behind your back. If you can't interlace your fingers, just grab onto an opposite wrist. That's totally fine. Press those palms together. Look up, back bend. Squeeze the shoulder blades in towards the spine. And on an exhalation, forward fold over your right leg. The top of that right shoulder is just gonna rest on top of your thigh. And now really squeeze your legs. Let's see if you can relax your head. Can you find the breath? Good. On an inhale, release your grip. Arms sweep by your sides and up over the head. Back to warrior one. Exhale, frame front foot. And coming all the way down onto the mat. Preparing for your back bend. Inhale to your cobra. And exhale to down dog. Hold that down dog. And again, needing to come to the knees, just do that. Taking your time, making the practice your own. All right, and inhale, lifts the left leg high into the sky. Drop that left hip to level out the pelvis here. Nice, keep the bend in the right knee and really energetically reach back with the left heel. One more inhalation here. And as you exhale, glide through high plank and place that left foot between the thumbs. Now let's set up warrior one on the second side. We're gonna plant that back foot, big toes pointing to 1 o'clock, okay? And you can shorten your stride a little bit. Make whatever adjustments you need to feel the most stable and strong. It's an inhale to lift your upper body, arms sweep over the head. Good, that front knee is over the front ankle. Rest. Biceps framing the head, right next to the ears. Take a few breaths. Where can you soften? Maybe your shoulders, your forehead. Clasping the hands behind you. Now open the chest, really extending through the spine. And then on an exhalation, we're gonna forward fold over the front leg, resting the left shoulder on top of the left thigh. Now squeeze the legs for stability, but see if you can relax your head and your neck. Find the breath. Good. Release your grip. Inhale, sweep the arms up over the head. Warrior one. Exhale, plant the hands, lowering down through push-up. Inhale, back bend. And exhale, down dog. Yes, okay. Walk that dog out. Take a few breaths. That was some challenging poses there. On an inhalation, the feet are going to come to the hands, top of the mat. Exhale as you arrive forward fold. Inhale to rise up through flat back. Arms sweep up over the head. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. Good. All right, so let's try a few balancing poses here. We're going to do tree, which is one of my favorites, and partially there are just so many versions of tree, makes it a really accessible pose for balancing. So I'm going to show you a few of the versions before we start. Now, if you have a wall, the obvious version is use the wall for balance, right? If you don't have a wall, that's okay too. There's a lot of options, okay? So, number one is to keep the toes down, right? So this is a tree. This right here is a beautiful tree posture that you can take, okay? If you're feeling confident and you feel good in your balance, then you can bring your foot up to the inside of the calf or a little higher, or you can even grab on to your heel and you can kind of wedge it into the meaty part of your upper groin, and then your tree can be here, okay? So those are all of your options. Just take whichever one works for you. And when you find your tree, you can bring your hands to your heart. If you are using a wall to balance, just bring one hand to your heart, okay? That's perfectly fine too. So we're gonna be here for like a full minute, basically. And I'm just giving you a lot of time because guess what? You're probably gonna fall in and out of your tree, and that's totally fine, right? Like totally normal. I've had trees where I'm like, I felt so stable, and then it's like a gust of wind comes, I just fall over, okay? Once you've arrived in your tree, focus on your breath. You can have a soft, supporting knee, right? You don't need to lock the knee out. Now, if you're feeling really stable in your tree right now, you can grow branches, right? Reaching up those branches towards the sun, towards the energy, towards life, right? Good. If you fall over, guess what? No one can even see you. It doesn't make any difference. Right? If I fall over, that's different because you guys are all watching me, right? Good. So if you're up here, we're gonna bring the hands back to the heart. My ankle is really starting to burn. Okay, that's normal. And then with control, woo, we're gonna come back down, arms by your side, Tadasana, and then we do a little dance, okay? Because whew, that ankle really starts to build up a bunch of lactic acid. Okay, that's that burning sensation that we get in those muscles. Let's switch sides. So you don't have to choose the exact same version. You can do something different. Maybe you're a little more stable or strong on this side. And again, we're just gonna take about a minute, give you plenty of time to play around in your tree. If you're feeling pretty comfortable in your tree right now and you want to kind of add a little bit of spice to it, then grow your branches, reaching out to the sky. Now you can even pretend like there is a little bit of wind, oh, right? And just play around with it, yeah. People who have taken my yoga class probably have heard me say this, but there was a teacher that I had that said, yoga isn't about being able to get into tree. Yoga means you can fall out of tree and not care, right? Like that's yoga. I'm way far from that. Good, bring hands to the heart, oh, timber, and then we'll come back down, little shake, awesome. So we've got our hips a little bit open. This is a great time to get into warrior 2 and triangle pose. All right, so we're gonna come into a 5-pointed star. So feet are really, really wide here. And your edges of your feet are parallel with the mat, the outside of the mat. So you might need to like pigeon toe your toes in a little bit. Yep. So let's first come into warrior 2. Arms lift up by your sides. Good. Externally rotate the right toes 90 degrees. So your toes are pointed this way. Okay. Then you're going to look over the fingertips and you're going to bend the right knee. And now we are in warrior 2. Find your breath. Shoulders relaxed. Good. On your next inhale, straighten the right knee. Exhale, reaching out over the right knee, popping that left hip to the left, right? Left hip is moving left. And then we're going to swing the arms into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So if you need to bend your front knee here, that's totally fine. You don't have to have totally straight knees. If you have a block, that is so helpful because you can put your block on the outside of your right leg and press into the block. You can also just put your weight on your leg. That's totally fine. Good. Now squeeze through the legs. Squeeze your glutes, right? So squeeze those buns together and reach energetically up through the top fingertips. Good. One more inhale in your Trikonasana, and as you exhale, press through the back leg, bracing through the core to rise. Good. Relax your arms by your sides. Flip that right toe back in, and then we're going to externally rotate through the left toes, okay? Sweep the arms up by your sides, look over the left fingertips, and bend the left knee, warrior 2. Good. Where can you soften? Always trying to strike that balance between effort and ease. Good. On an inhale, straighten through left knee. Exhale to reach out over the horizon. And then finally, windmilling the arms, Trikonasana, second side. Tension through the legs, reaching through both the hands and the arms, right? So pressing, if you're pressing down into your leg, with that same amount of force, be reaching up with the top hand. One more inhale. Exhale to brace the core, press through the back leg to come up. Beautiful. From here, we're going to step right back to Tadasana at the top of the mat. Very nice. Let's come on down. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale through Chaturanga, lowering down through the high plank. Inhale, back bend. Exhale to child's pose. Sit the hips back to the heels. And instead of having the arms reaching over your head, drape them by your sides. Rest your forehead down, bringing knees as wide as you'd like. Arms coming back up over the head. Lift the hips to come into table. And we're going to come into pigeon here. Nice stretch for the hips. Bring your right knee right behind your wrist, your right wrist. And then we can kind of scoop the ankle up towards the top of the mat a little bit. We're going to stretch out through the back leg. And you can stay up high, okay? Or you can come down to elbows or perhaps even completely forward fold. It's really whatever feels good to you. Now, if your hips, if you're like up here and you're like, what is going on? I can't get my hips down there. That's when pillows really come in handy. So like you can have, this is actually a well-designed pillow for yoga. So you can have pillows propped up underneath your hips, as many as you need to. Okay, ooh, that's very nice. It's very comfortable. All right, so just make it work for you. You want to be as grounded as possible. Pressing up slowly through the hands, rising up through the upper body. We'll swing that right leg back underneath the hips or back into our tabletop position, and then switching sides. The left knee will come forward, stretching out through the right leg behind you. If there's one really cool thing about yoga is it really makes us appreciate the fact that things are temporary in this world, right? Like I remember being in Pigeon and it seems like everyone in class was like so relaxed and like really enjoying it. And I was like, this is the worst. Like my hip was so tight. And I just always told myself, you know, this can't last forever. Like this is eventually going to end. So press up through the hands. Yes. And we're gonna bring so instead of swinging this leg around, we're actually just gonna shift the weight right onto the left hip, and we'll end up seated. Okay, bringing the balls of the soles of the feet together. Now again, if you have a block, definitely sit on it. I don't have a block, but I'll sit on my little pillow here. You because the thing is elevating the pelvis helps to lift and straighten the spine. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. So just allowing the knees to fall to the side. You don't need to like press them down or like muscle them down. You're gonna feel a stretch no matter what. Grabbing onto the hands to really lift the chest, okay? Straightening out through the spine. And from here, you can hinge forward at the hips, deepening that stretch through the inner thighs and the groin. And then can you find your breath? Can you send the breath deep, deep into the low belly, into the pelvic floor? And then just lifting slowly through the upper body. Yep. Helping the knees in using the hands here. Okay. And then lying down on your mat. We just have one more stretch before Shavasana here. So once you're lying down, you're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. You might feel like a little pinch through the hips, and that's pretty normal. Nice. Now lengthen out just the right leg. So lengthen out the right leg, just relax it on the floor. And let's bring that left knee across the body into a twist. And so what I'm going to do, and I recommend doing this too, is I'm going to lift my bottom hip, my right hip, I'm going to scoot it to the center of my mat, okay? And what this helps with is it helps stack the pelvis, and it's going to just make it so that you can kind of relax into the pose a little bit better. You're not going to feel like you have to hold yourself in place as much. So I'm going to reach out to the left, palm up with the left arm, and my gaze is over the left shoulder. Expanding the breath into the low back, into the low belly. Slowly coming back through center, take your time. Hips come back to the center of the mat, and we'll hug in the right knee, okay? Hugging that knee in towards the chest. And then as you're ready, bringing the right knee across the left side of the body into a twist. Scoop that bottom hip under and back. Reaching out with the right arm, palm up, gaze over the right shoulder. Slowly moving back through center. Final hug in of the knees. Slight rock side to side, little massage for the low back. Draw a circle with your knees, both directions. And then we'll come into Shavasana, final resting pose. So lengthen out your feet. Make sure your heels are at least as wide as your mat. Arms by your sides, giving your armpits room to breathe. So don't have your arms directly by your sides. Try to get them out there. A little tuck of the chin to lengthen the back of the neck. And close your eyes. gentle scan of the body, noticing any muscles that are gripping, tense. Just give them permission to let go and relax. Take about 2 more minutes to absorb the benefit of the practice. Allowing thoughts and emotions to float in and then out of your consciousness. Not trying to stop them or manipulate them, but just perhaps not becoming attached to anyone in particular. Just let them come and let them go. See if you can loosen your grip. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Hugging the knees in once again, rocking to the right side of your body and pressing up to return to your original seated position. As you arrive, close your eyes, lift tall through the spine, relax your shoulders, and focus on your breath. Noticing if you've cultivated more spaciousness internally, how this seated experience may be different from the one that you took at the beginning of class. And opening your eyes, bringing your hands together, pressing your thumbs into your heart. And I'll leave you with this quote from the Buddha: "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." Thank you for allowing me to guide you in your practice today. Namaste. And I am going to stop the recording and then I'll stay on. So if anybody wants to chat, I'm happy to do that.